Well, isn't that just the prettiest field of mustard you ever did see? Morning. Welcome to Wednesday. And before you start, you shouldn't make fun of your neighbors. That's our field. I'm making fun of us. I don't think the neighbors have anything quite that ugly. That is on a whole nother level of ugly fields of mustard. Alright, we got the gooseneck. Morning, Cam. We got to haul off empty totes because I got a bunch of full totes over at the sprayer guys that I got to pick up. And then I got to organize this mess. I got to get that guy out and loaded. We got a lot to do today. I got to come over to this side too. Turn some lights on. Wow. That's super bright. So we got to get the sprayer out. What we got? This one's empty. I gotta haul it off. That one's not empty, but we are not using atrazine by itself this year. So I'm gonna move it. Ooh, I got an open spot. Cool. This won't be as much of a mess as I thought. Where am I going? Start the sprayer. Come on. What kind of mood is it in today? Why is the key on? That's not good. Oh, John Deere left the key on yesterday. Son of a bit. Thank God I got some long cables. Let that charge for a couple minutes before we try it. It's alive! It's alive! It's kind of hard to make YouTube content when you just put down the camera on a forklift and then forget it and drive away. So it's been like an hour and a half now. Hauled off 6 empty totes. Brought back 3 full ones and some boxes. That's really all you missed, other than the fact that where I go get the chemical is where the local spray planes, one of the local spray planes is based out of. While I was there, they showed up for a reload. One, those planes are so much bigger than you realize when you're actually standing next to one. And two, when they take off, as soon as they pull away from their dock and they're lined up on the runway, it is full throttle. And when you're 100 feet away from it loading some pallets, you can feel that in your chest. That's awesome. I don't know why these chemical companies have to make this so flippin' difficult. Tote there, same company. That one hooks up simple with the little 2-inch cam lock. This one does not have a cam lock option. Cam lock grips into this groove right there, seals onto it, great. This one has some coarse threads, which I don't have anything with coarse threads other than I found this cap that's made for a nozzle. Of course, I don't have a nozzle that'll fit it. So I put in this 1-inch cam lock, say the groove there. So now I got to get a 1-inch to 2-inch adapter to hook it up and then test it and make sure it doesn't leak, because, yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Cortiva. Way to make shit difficult. But other than that, so I got them 3 totes up there ready to go, so they'll all go through this induction cone. They're all 3 the same chemical, so it'll just be one at a time. I got the other corn chemical right there. So spray-wise, I just need to take my connection apart right there to hook up this venturi. The corn chemical, well, for 2 reasons. One, because we use more gallons of it. I like to have it set up direct flow here with this 2-inch like this. Lets it flow nice and fast. Then I use its own cone, so that way it's separate. So if I got to switch back to hay, all I have to do is disconnect, splice my hoses together, and that stuff is all contained. Now granted, I've washed that like 4 times every load. I'm a big rinse. Why do I have one random bottle of Largos here? Anywho, so I'm not so worried about the contamination there, but it just keeps it isolated. Leave that one for the Roundup and all the other chemicals I use. Yeah. Okay, let's go and hook this stupid trailer. Let's see here. A little dusty. So the soil finisher wasn't as field ready as we had hoped. Cameron is in town trying to find bolts, working on some of the sweeps on it, or shovels, or points, whatever you want to say. So because I'm waiting on him to get the first field ready so I can start getting that dialed in, we're gonna go back to cultivating. We'll head back north to 3 miles where we quit the other night, last night. Okay, this wasn't the problem I thought it was. It was just a bolt, not all of them. But Cameron, I just helped him finish doing the last little bit of greasing. He's gonna go get started. It's 11:45. I'm running home to eat. I'll do that. Go get the seed tender, get it filled, get the planter, get some seed in the planter. Should be good to start. It's gonna be a busy afternoon now. Well, look at that. It's all put back together. Let's see if it runs more than an hour. So I talked to Bart last night, I think, after I'd already ended the video. He said that guy came out and the air codes were there, all them oil pressure and everything. It all ties back to one single wire in a loom like that big. He pulled the ECM off to where he could start checking pins and running, is it concurrency? Basically checking, you know, the wires to make sure there wasn't a break. Everything was testing perfectly fine. They found absolutely nothing in that. So they went through, reset the air codes, they didn't pop back up. So it's just a break in a wire that every once in a while, like, I think we were talking this morning, it was like 2 years ago it gave us hell, and then it quit. And then Deere pressure washed it the other day when they got done, and we're wondering if a little bit of water got in there, shorted it out again. And then now maybe it's dry and kind of been shaken around and moved around to where it's back to working. Basically, the only option is to replace the wire harness unless you want to try and undo that entire mess of the loom and go through each individual wire, which costs thousands of dollars in labor. So do you spend a couple thousand on the part and a couple hundred on labor, or a couple hundred on parts but a couple thousand in labor? And don't forget that labor is going to be that high because of how long it's going to take, so you got to counter in your time down. I don't know. Right now all that matters is it is functioning. We're going to go with that. And you see Cam's dust cloud. Looks like he's about done. So now, open this guy back up. Turn on some lights. Okay, so we know we're planting 30 acres and then we got to plant the neighbor's corn. Now his corn though, we have a box of that. I believe it is that one right there. 6269 RIB. Smart stack, so I know it's got all the traits for corn on corn because that's going to be important. Paying attention, we need... Corn seed comes with different treatments and we got to make sure we have the proper treatment on the proper ground based on previous crops. So, I think I'm going to load our variety and his in the seed tender. So then I don't have to worry about running out when I finish our field to start his, because then it doesn't matter. If it's the same variety, I'll just plant ours, plant his. Easy enough. So I'm going to get the service truck and the bucket truck both out of here, out of the way. Get the seed tender dragged out with the forklift, hook it up, load those 2 totes, and then I'll find another one to put in there. And then we'll go get the planter. Okay. Before I do any of that though, I was going to restart this, or see if it'll restart. Let it just sit here and idle for an hour or so, recharging up the batteries. We got a little oil seepage. Oh, it's some stupid crankcase filters. Okay. Okay. What do we got? Well, that's a good start. The computer came on. Oh, yeah. All right, we'll just let this sit here and idle for a while. Build some juice in them batteries. Okay, everything is organized. Here's the 2 of the same I'm going to load. Plus, I'm going to pick another one. But I got to make sure I get the right. So, and if you're wondering why a few bags on top of these ones, it's because the seed size is big and they couldn't fit 50 bags inside of here. So these, I don't know, totes, pro boxes, whatever, normally it's 50 units. Well, if you get a large seed size, they can't fit 50 units, so then they have to send you a handful of bags. That seat is really big because there's 10 bags. But what I got to figure out now is I got to go through and look at all these. Pull out the product card here. Oh. So, relative maturity, 111 days. So it's a longer season. Smart Stack Rib Complete. That's talking about the traits inside it for what bugs it's resistant to. This one is a Smart Stack Pro, so that one's going to have a different set of treatment. And it is 115-day corn. So I've got calls in to our decalb salesman and our Hogemeyer, double checking what has what, because I can never remember from year to year. But those are the only two seed brands we have here right now. We've got Beck's and Syngenta coming. They're at their shops, they just haven't delivered them yet. No hurry, we're trying to get 2 fields planted by the end of the week, plus the neighbors too, so. All right, time to get the pickup. Look at this, look at this, first try. The camera up there helps, but I can't, because of the toolbox, I can't actually see the ball. We're gonna have us a good planting season, that's a good omen. We're gonna have a good planting season, we're gonna raise some good crops, all because we did that on one try. Seeds flowing. And I even remembered to reset my scale. But this is what I'm talking about, the protection on it. And then see the random guy there that's a different color? That has to do with the BT corn. So what that's referencing is a bug that we call corn borer. You have to have a certain amount of what they call refuge, which means non-treated seed. So that way they don't build a resistance to it. We are in an area where our level for that though is low enough. It can just be mixed in the box. If you go south into cotton country, oh, it's a much bigger problem there. They actually have to plant it separate from their regular corn. Alrighty. Okay, we got 2 boxes of the one variety on that side. Now I'm putting this other long season variety on the other side. Again, notice the different colored seed. That's all that refuge. This is where I get jealous of the guys that plant all the same variety and actually get to fill their seed tender with corn. You can see corn in that window because I was able to put 2 boxes in there. Can't even see it in that window because there's only one there. But not only do we not plant the same variety from each brand, we plant usually 5 different brands, so partial loads, partial loads. I love everything about this cart other than their rod here for tarping it. It's telescopic, so your latch always lines up. Yeah, tell me how good do you think that plastic telescope's covered in dust? Got tension on it from the tarp. That's a joke. Okay, Cameron got done with the finisher, just dropped him off at the ripper. Get the edges on this field all cleaned up, so it's done. We got some clouds building. That's a pretty sight. All right, let's go get the corn planter. We're off to a great start. The planter doesn't know it's a planter. All right, let's try this again, shall we? We'll pretend we didn't even start it. Just forget all that. There we go. Now we got the correct error codes popping up. Right, wheel speed fault because it's unplugged. So it says the rate is screwed up. So to get the case monitor to accept Deere's GPS for my wheel speed, you have to unplug the wheel speed sensor. And before anybody says, oh, it's just a setting in there, it's not there. I've had 2 different case techs on the phone, video conference call with them. And they're like, okay, now hit here, hit. It's not there. It was there the first year we ran this. And then that's when we still had a case dealer local here. They came out, updated software on it, gone. Ever since that software update, that has not been an option on this monitor anymore. Even though every case guy I talk to says it's there. It's not there. Alright, anywho, give the computers a minute to boot up, get the old iPad syncing up. We'll go put a little seat in. Oh, of course it didn't start recording in time. If whoever was driving the Jeep watches this, thank you. That was very nice. They pulled off the road entirely to let me by. Felt kind of bad that I was only going another 100 feet and then I was turning off, but thank you. Okay, the boys in the shop are definitely messing with me. Every single row cleaner was on a different setting. You see all them holes on the side there? There's 5 different settings, plus all the holes in the row cleaner itself, making about 20 combinations. Yeah, there wasn't a single one on the same setting. So I got all of them the same. They're all on the 3rd hole down with 1 hole showing on the cleaner. Came through, everything was adjusted to 0 for the depth. So I gave everything 8 full turns. So it's all in between a 7 and an 8 on these gauges. That should be really close to my 2-inch depth. That right there is perfect amount of seed. So that way, in case something's wrong, I gotta take the box off. It's easy to lift. That, not so much. I've got about 4 of them that are full. Oh well. Watch, those 4 are gonna be the 4 I have trouble with and actually have to take the box off. So whenever I have to do these adjustments, what I always like to do is just come out in the field and plant a giant X. So I started over there, planted to there, then planted across. Why an X? Because that lets me check my overlap as I'm coming into my end rows and as I would be leaving my end rows. Plus, now I got all my rows right here. I can check seat depth. I can check right here. Okay, time to dig. Time for you guys to go sit on the frame for a while. So seed depth on this planter is why I carry a hammer, because you adjust it with this handle on the back. We need to go half turn deeper, so nope, that way. I have hurt many a fingers trying to do that by hand. This is so much easier. Okay, I got adjusting to do. So far, had to bring that one up, and then 2, 3, 4, and 5 so far all got to go down a little. Okay, dug all 16 rows. Used my handy dandy bottle opener with all these numbers on there. I don't know what the numbers mean. I just know that red number 2, or green number 2, whatever color that is. That's kind of where you want it at. Now I need a bottle. Anyways, did all 16 rows. 3 were planting too deep. I raised them up a smidge. 5 were a little shallow. I dropped them a smidge. So I think now, as far as depth goes, I'm gonna plant for a while, maybe like a third of the field, and then I'll get out and double check them, you know, just kind of let everything shake into place. Double check that. Now what I gotta do is dig up my overlaps to make sure they're close to right. I'm not so worried about planting too much of an overlap. It's not planting enough. I don't like blank spots. I believe I'm overlapping the end row which to me is perfect. But because I don't want to take the chance of skips, I might go in my settings and bump it to just a touch more overlap. Kick it on a little bit faster, because I hit that incredibly slow. I don't plant that slow, so I better move that overlap back. Try and get a little bit more, better chance of success that way. But first thing we gotta do, we're gonna go fill the boxes all the way up with seed, get some graphite in, and get to planting. Some got a little too full, but you know, that's fine. Okay, dipshit, don't back in too far. God, I don't want to have to explain that one. So now I'll go through and put a little bit of talc graphite blend on it. Talc, just talcum powder and graphite, just another form of a lubricant. Basically all this is to make that seed slide smoother on the seed disc and everything. Of course I need a knife. Need a knife. Now I'm touching my nasty gloves. So yeah, it's just literally a 80-20 blend of talc to graphite. Put a little sprinkle of that on and we're good to go. Ha! Not even close. Could actually back the pickup all the way in. Alright, let's go put some seed in the ground. Okay, note to self. The lid on top of the water jug is basically the same size as the water bottles. So you can't just try and be slick and flip it completely over, because then water goes everywhere. You live and learn. You know how hard it is to plant a non-straight edge when that's your view? We're really doing it, Harry. Everything so far is communicating nicely. A little rain just teasing us, because they can, I guess. I don't know. Either way, 7.5 acres into the year. Where we'll stop, God only knows. Hi, Pinchy. Notice the windsock. It's really hanging down. Not much of a breeze. Just had a buddy about 15 miles that direction. Wind's blowing like hell as this little cloud blows over. Oh, that didn't take long. Wind's here. I even just seen lightning. Wouldn't that be cool? Get rain out on field number 1. Where am I at? 20 acres, 18 acres in. A little over half. Well now, this is different. It would appear to be raining on my parade. Got all the dirt coming out of that fan. Oh man, I hit pause at the wrong time. That was a hell of a clack of thunder. Lightning. Oh, I really hope the microphone heard that. That got loud. It is a hell of a rain just to the north. This is where I was not expecting anything today. Oh, this is hilarious. I can't even see out of that window. We were 8-9 acres from being done. Oh well. I assume there's a planter back there somewhere. I just got to get back to the end. Come on, fold faster! I know when I checked weather this morning, it was less than 10% chance of rain. That was a nice little shower. I mean, don't get me wrong, maybe a 10th. That was a nice little shower. Now I got a muddy mess. Not near as muddy as Cameron can make it, but muddy nonetheless. What a muddy friggin' mess. One pass, and it did all that. Look at that. We were so close. Just the inside, like 3.5 towers. there goes our storm. Here comes another one, maybe. She's bashful. Sorry. Well, hi, buddy. What are you doing over here? Okay, bye. So that was a hell of a plan. I moved this up here to work this field, and well, the rain said no. On the plus side, look how clean that tractor is now. Whew. Looks so much better than the planter tractor. I had to switch out companions. What's the matter? You want to say hi? No? Anywho, so now here's where the farm brain kicks in. So I love the fact we got rain. My digital gauge shows 5 thousandths, hundredths, not thousands. So not even a tenth. I don't think we got a tenth anywhere. So that's not enough to delay us long. But the back of my mind, I'm just sitting here going, okay, rain chances fire up big on Monday, maybe even Sunday. We've got a lot of work to do before then. This rain, as much as a blessing as it is, shrinks our window down a little bit tighter, just adjusting them screws a little bit more. I think we're fine time-wise, probably more than fine, but it is a little bit of a tightening down. I'm going to say a couple hours of sun in the morning, and then I can probably start planting. Not a big deal. I think where the Colts packer is, I might be able to run that first thing. I might go try that. Cameron's got a little bit of ripping and then also finishing, so he's got a couple things he can do. Bart was land planing a field that he was wanting to get hay planted on. That might have to set most of the day to dry out because that does not like any moisture whatsoever. Oh wow, camera's gonna die. This barely got a sprinkle. This is plantable first thing. Alright guys, camera's dead. I'm feeling dead. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bring it back tomorrow. Why not? 4 days in a row. Let's go. See you tomorrow.